Hi, and welcome to our PhD Summit. We're here to talk about getting your purpose, some hope, and some direction back in our lives. At this time especially, we need a little help with those things. And today we have a wonderful guest, Sheila Tillich, to help us. Hi, Sheila.
Hello, Marion. Thank you for having me today.
All right. I want to tell you a little bit about Sheila. She's so many things that would take the whole program just to tell you what she does. But she can help you to remove the blocks in your energy field, help you balance your chakras, uncover those really limiting belief patterns that we have. We all are becoming more familiar with that idea. And she also is a wonderful teacher and teaches techniques for building resilience against stress. And she can guide you to move forward onto your spiritual development and empowerment path. She'll help you unravel all those knots that we got inside of us. So, Sheila, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
What are we going to learn today, Sheila?
Well, we're going to learn about having hope and how to start to self-heal yourself so you can live a more joyful life.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So all of these things I mentioned in your introduction, are those ways that we can experience some of this hope and get this figured out?
Oh, yes, absolutely. During this time, it's so uncertain, and so many people are feeling a lot of anxiety and not really trusting themselves in many, many different areas. They're having a hard time looking for the future and having hope in anything. So the things that I do is help people go within and start to self-heal and then realize that they have such beautiful, beautiful potential in their life and a beautiful life in front of them. So I love helping people do that.
So how did you decide on getting into this field?
Well, basically, it was about my own self-healing journey. And I've been on this journey for about all my life, but the last 36 years, changing things in my life that no longer served me. And I knew that I needed to actually do something about it. And I started on this actual path of self-healing and self-discovery. And I found myself. I found my passion for who I really am, and also my own purpose in life of who I really am, a spiritual being on this journey, and to help humanity in a very profound way. So it all started with my own personal journey.
Well, I think we all have realized that we have to start with us. We're the first project. So can you tell me a little bit about the different things in that field, like the integrated energy therapy? How does that help?
Okay, so integrated energy therapy is an awesome modality, and it's more this new energy that's out there. It's more of a modality that can help you go deep inside areas that you never thought you even had. And integrated energy therapy is about learning things about yourself, your issues that stop you from moving forward in your life. It actually will help you find your own purpose in life. So integrated energy therapy is a wonderful modality. And I am just really so glad to be able to teach it and also to live it in my life each and every day and understand myself, how I tick, why I tick, and also where I need to be different or better or enhance myself, and to look at the positivity in my life instead of look at the negativity. So I achieve very.
Sounds like a big picture that you would end up getting. Maybe there's some things in there we don't want to know about at first.
Absolutely. So integrated energy therapy is about issues in your tissues, and it's about releasing the trauma without the drama. And a lot of people say, well, what the heck is that? And it's really cool because, you don't realize that the things that you have stuck inside yourself is affecting your life, and it is affecting you from moving forward and having a more joyful life. So integrated energy therapy is about issues, things that, are not very healthy for you. All right. So whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job situation, most likely it's your internal relationship with yourself, not being happy, not knowing why you're unhappy. And then it's also a wonderful tool of self-discovery, discovering who you really are and your own magnificence. So IET is a wonderful modality that deals with the issues in your tissue. A lot of people say, well, I don't have any issues. And then they go on to tell me all the problems that they have in their life, So that it's about your self-discovery, who you really are, and also your spiritual potential and a beautiful life you can have by exploring this avenue of integrated energy therapy.
Wow, that sounds like a wonderful experience. And
It's a lot.
having had you do a session of IET on me, I know how wonderful I felt at the end of it and how much more I needed to learn about myself. You think that you know a lot, and then, things come up.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to have the tool to deal with it.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about the energy field? Is it energy field healing?
You mean unity field healing?
Oh, unity field healing. Yes.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So integrated energy therapy is about more of your own issues in your tissues as far as energy psychology, meaning the first 7 years of your life and why you do the things that you do. And it has to do with things that are going on in your life that you can change. Unity field healing is more of a higher quantum modality that deals with your quantum DNA, or in other words, your multidimensional spiritual self. And it goes deeper than actually integrated energy therapy. So I love, first of all, using unity field healing on myself and also integrated energy therapy. I use both of them on myself all the time. But in my practice, I can use both of them because one builds upon the other, and it intensifies and actually helps the self-healing process very profoundly. So the two of them go hand in hand. But IET is about the 12 spiritual strands of your DNA, your spiritual strands. And then unity field healing is about the next part on your spiritual journey and where you're going. And also, everything is changing now. Society is changing, humanity is changing, and it's about the consciousness field. So metaphysical work. I'm a metaphysical ordained minister, and I also am a metaphysical practitioner. So my practice and how I help people is to see the whole picture. Right? Integrated energy therapy is how to deal with things that are going on in this lifetime that are stopping you from having a more purposeful life, and to see the joy in it. What happens is that when people start to embrace who they really are, in other words, get real with the things that are stopping them from living their magnificence, then they start to feel different and have a different way of looking at things, and start to realize that how you live your life and how you project it out affects the field around you, meaning your energy field, whether it's your personal energy field or whether it's with people that you work with, your family. And it's called the consciousness field. So as you start to evolve, all right, as a spiritual being, you start to look at life differently. And unity field healing is more about this higher frequency living. It's about tapping into the higher frequency and understanding about the DNA and how it affects your life. So IET is more, people kind of understand issues in your tissues, but they really don't understand what unity field healing is. But it's about tapping into your divineness in a very quantum way, a higher frequency way. Does that make sense?
I think, and I think that it's we've all experienced walking into a room and getting the vibe of that person, I don't like it, that person, or you walk into a room and it's just such a happy room, you want to be there. So I think having a way of understanding that field and that consciousness level is a really good idea, because we've all experienced it and don't always know how to deal with it or even think how much we affect it when we walk into a room. Our field is there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I love about energy medicine, okay, so all the different modalities and the branches of energy medicine, which is all the way from the physical layer, emotional, spiritual, and mental layer, okay, it has to do with everybody else around us. So we're all walking magnetic fields. We're all walking magnets, and we all affect each other. And we really don't realize that a lot of the things that are in those fields are negative or positive, and that's what we pick up on. That's what we as spiritual beings are starting to recognize, that because the frequencies are changing, everything's changing. And so as we go through our life, we always say, I don't know why I don't like that person, or I don't know why when I walk into that room I get the heebie-jeebies and I don't want to sit next to them or whatever. And that's because you're starting to pick up what's in their energy field. And a lot of times people have a lot of situations, a lot of issues in their life, and they're very angry and they're just very resentful. And that comes out in the energy field. And so it affects us. And a lot of times we don't want to be around those people. And then there's sometimes, and that's what's more happening now, is that energy field is more open, that people are starting to gravitate towards others that are like-minded. In other words, the positive people. They're starting to feel that I really don't want to be around the negative, and I'm going to make different choices in my life. So, and a lot of people get stuck that they can't do that. So that's where integrated energy therapy comes in, understanding why you're stuck, what's going on inside you, about healing yourself, and then you can heal others. And then when you come in contact with another person that is in more of a different vibrational field than you, all right, somebody that's very unhappy, or somebody that has a lot of anger or a lot of fear, and because you're starting to change inside, you start to feel very compassionate for them. And that's because you feel from your heart. So you get into their field and help them in a different way. It's a higher consciousness way. So a lot of things are changing in the world, but especially in the energy medicine field, that is starting to get really recognized that there's something to this, And the other modality that I teach, and I also actually incorporate in my practice, is heart math. All right, I'm a heart math.
That was my next question.
Yeah, heart math goes so beautifully with all this, because heart math is actually a breathing technique. Right, it's all about breathing techniques that connects the heart and the brain and to be coherent, which means your thoughts. All right, you have two brains. You have brain in your head, but you also have a beautiful brain that's in your heart. All right, and it gives off loving compassion and emits a lot of wonderful energy out. And what they have found, scientists have found through the Heart Math Institute, is that this vibrational field is affected by all of us. And that's how they actually proved that consciousness is energy, is that the energy is in the field that we live in. So Heart Math has come up and is an organization that deals with helping you become heart coherent, learning how to become heart coherent, and also specializing in building resilience against stress and trauma. And what that means is that as you start to do these techniques, you start to change inside to be able to be more resilient and to know how to deal with stress and how to deal with different situations. But what's really happening is that you're actually changing your vibrational field. You're opening it up to a higher consciousness field, which is what we want, right? We want to see positiveness. Yeah.
I can see how all of these things just go together so nicely. Wonderful.
it's very complementary, very good. So with me, with my practice is first of all, how I actually help people is I have foundational sessions where they can come in and I counsel with them and find out, how can I help them? You know, uh, what are you unhappy about? What would you like to change? And then through all these different things that I specialize in, then we can decide on what path to take. The best thing I could suggest is to first of all come in for a session and kind of learn about yourself and then start to heal yourself. And then people start to realize like, oh my gosh, there's no coincidence. I've been asking for this all for a long time now. And there's no coincidence that they found me is because it's in the energy field. It's in the consciousness field now. Because many of us have become awakened now. We're starting to change. The whole world has changed, you know. And, for me, Miriam, as a universal master energy healer, what does that mean? Well, it's about helping people stay positive and stay out of the fear and all the drama that's out there, and to realize that this is a good thing that's happening to us because now we can improve and be better and have better lives. And so with energy medicine, you can do that. And it doesn't cost hardly anything. It's you're doing it. It's an inside job.
Yeah,
it's
right.
An inside job. It's like, and through my own self-healing is that I learned that I could heal myself, but I had to do the work, so a lot of self-help books, a lot of people do all that, and I did it for years. And then I realized it's like, wait a minute, I need to go to the root of the problem. I'm the root of the problem. What can I change about me? And that's how this kind of developed and opened up. In the meantime, life has changed. Society has changed. COVID came.
Yes.
COVID came. And it's a good thing. And I love helping people realize that you have choices. It's about love or fear. You can stay in the old way, and stay in the ego and stay in the fear and not do anything and stay stuck. Or you can come from your love inside. First of all, love yourself. A lot of people don't love themselves. And a lot of it is because of the issues in the tissues. So start working on yourself first. And then as you start feeling better, you start to emanate this vibration of love or compassion. And then you become heart coherent. And then you can help other people. First of all, in your life, and then anybody else out there. And then you find your purpose. That's why we're here. We're here as spiritual beings to help others.
Well, that sounds wonderful. So if I wanted to learn about this or I wanted to have a session, can you tell me kind of what happens in an IET session?
Absolutely. So integrated energy therapy is actually done with angelic angels. We have actually angels that actually work in different areas of the body. And it is a higher frequency modality, meaning we use the violet light, the purple light or the violet flame of Saint Germain. And the angels come, and a lot of people, they know that angels are from God, they're helpers of God. A lot of people accept angels. But angels are a higher frequency. That's the whole key. And some people know about Reiki, but they don't know what IET is. And IET deals with different blockages in parts of the area. So when you come from a session, I kind of will explain a little bit what IET is about the different issues in different areas, and then I will tell them, what angels I'm going to be using, and then I will explain to them that they are part of the healing. I am going to go in there and I'm going to be touching them in certain areas. It is a touching modality. You don't have to touch, but it is a touching modality. And that it takes about an hour, and all they're going to do is come and lay on the table. First, I'll talk to them for a little while first. I'll find out what needs to be healed, lay them on the table, and put some beautiful soft music on it and help them meditate and get relaxed. And then it's like a massage, only it's more cellularly inside yourself, And then afterwards, there's so many different interpretations of how you feel, whether it's relaxed or inspired, or some people sometimes they get agitated, right? Because what's happened is that, those issues of the tissues, they've been there for a long time and they don't want to go, And however, once the person relaxes and realizing that it can't hurt them, then they start to relax and then they start to feel the peace afterwards. So I would suggest definitely do an IET session to kind of learn and understand what this is all about. And then as they go forward, many people will come back for many sessions, and it is many sessions. It's not just a one-time deal. It is about many layers of things that are stuck, many layers of issues that have been going on for a long time. And the body wants to release it, and then it takes time to do that. So I encourage people to come at least 3 times to kind of feel what it's all about. And then what happens each time they come back, they start to feel differently. It's because their actual DNA has been changed. Meaning, when I go in that high frequency angelic energy that I put into them, and it actually works from quantum energy coming down through me, and then I make a heart link to the person, and then the energy comes back up. What happens is that their DNA is changed because now they feel the peace, they feel the harmony. And when they go away and then they come back for the next session, all of a sudden they start to figure this out. Hey, I can do different. I don't have to respond that way. Or they start to understand why they have the resentments, why they have the anger, why they have fear. And then each time we do a session, you get deeper and deeper. And then they start to realize, I'm feeling good. This is real. This is working. This is working. How can I do this? And so that's where I come in as a teacher. And that is, I tell you, Marion, that is my biggest joy of giving the people the tools to help themselves. You can do this yourself, And a lot of people say, I can't do that. I'm not a trained professional. I said, well, no, you know your body and you have the power inside, your wisdom inside. And what I always say is just like Dorothy or the Wizard of Oz, just click your heels and you've had the answers all along. It's there. But yeah, and the people don't realize that, they hold the power. They have the wisdom inside and the power. And so once they start coming for sessions and they start feeling better, they say, hey, I want this, what's this all about? So I do have different classes that I teach, and integrated energy therapy is actually in 75 countries around the world. It is standardized, meaning it's taught the same way in all the countries of the world by master instructors who have been trained by trainers. So there's only one type of integrated energy therapy, right? And it purposely was developed that way. And it came about in 1987 by a gentleman named Stephen Thayer, who's the founder. And he was a Reiki master at the time. And he also was an engineer before he became a holistic practitioner. And what he did is that he experienced a lot of different things, and as a engineer decided, well, I'm going to do a workbook and we're going to do it the same way. It's not going to get watered down in any way. So integrated energy therapy is starting to get very well known. We have 37 trainers in the world, and I'm a trainer. I have been doing integrated energy therapy since 2013. I have been a master instructor since 2014, and I've been teaching classes all along. Along with, I also had my full-time job in healthcare, which was my other life, because I am very involved with both worlds. And then in 2017, I was asked to be a trainer. So I've been a trainer. So what that means is master instructors are the ones that teach those classes. And there's 3 different levels that they can teach. And there's a bunch of other classes too. But the master instructors are only taught by trainers because Stephen did not want it watered down in any way. He wanted one form of IET, and that's why it's standardized. And it's also copyrighted, all over the world, for the actual modality itself. So I'm very proud to be a master instructor trainer. And to be able to see the changes in people's lives, it just gives me so much joy. Because I know what's done for me.
Well, I know that I've taken the classes from you all the way up to master instructor, and it's wonderful. And the classes that I had with you were so enlightening, and I came away with real good information as to how to use it. Of course, I still like to have the someone do a session with me, and you're wonderful at doing that. So, because that feels good too, besides our own doing it for ourselves. So that's great. Now, what about the other things that you do, the channeling and all of those things? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So on this beautiful spiritual journey that I have, I started to awaken things inside my DNA that I didn't even know was there. I knew it was there, but I didn't know it was there. And in 2012 is when the new energy actually came about. And a lot of people really don't understand what new energy is, but basically what happened was we are spiritual beings and we are multidimensional, meaning we have a higher frequency spiritual part of us that a lot of people never recognized before. However, they know they're intuitive and they know, things, they're realizing, they've always had the ability to kind of sense things, feel things or whatever. And they say, what's going on? But what happened in 2012 is the actual energy of the earth changed. And what it did is it actually tapped into that multidimensional DNA that we have, which allows us to be more spiritual, allows us to have gifts and feelings and things. And that's where it's called awakening. All right. So that's really when it kind of started. So, what happened was I was on a quest of my spiritual awakening or my actual spiritual journey. All right. And I didn't know that it was my spiritual journey or where it was going to lead. However, I trusted and I was very involved. I loved angels. All right. So IET was part of it. Before I started with IET, I was into metaphysical stuff for years, and I knew I was on this journey for a reason. And what happened was that I actually started mediumship school. I'm actually an evidential medium. I can give readings, and I also am an angel card reader, which I've done that for 30 years. What developed through that is that I really allowed the spiritualness to come out, and through that, I found an area of being able to communicate on the other side. Besides being a medium, a lot of more things are coming through, and that's where the galactic source comes in. So I have been channeling all my life, and I didn't even know I was channeling. I just thought it was, crazy stuff going on in my head. But what has happened since 2013, as my DNA started changing, when I started taking IET classes and my frequency started changing, my spirituality started becoming awakened, I started realizing that there's more to this. And I became involved with an organization called the Lemurian Sisterhood. And the Lemurian Sisterhood is an organization where it's about empowering women and also balancing the energy of Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. So it's about the frequency and what's happening out there. The Lemurian Sisterhood is about women who have become awakened, that are using their lives on their spiritual journey, and helping humanity in a very profound way. So I have been an actual host for the Lemurian Sisterhood for 4 years now. So, and through that, I'm a mentor for many spiritual women and also men, all right? Not so much the circles, but as far as empowering them, as far as understanding why we're here, right? And then help them on their path. And then I have different groups. I have a light workers group, which is about people that they know that they want to help humanity, and they need to be around other like-minded light workers, right? So when we say light workers, we're talking about somebody that's become awakened, that really feel love and compassion for humanity, and they want to help. And so I started this light workers group in addition to the Lemurian Sisterhood, because there's many people that they're not nowhere ready for the Lemurian Sisterhood or more of the higher frequency. But there's many people that have become awakened, and they know that they're, a light worker. They know that they want to help people. They know that they love humanity, And so the whole group was started to stay in positivity and to be connected in the energy field so that we're not all alone. You know, so the Lemurian Sisterhood and the Lightworkers Connection are for people that are on the spiritual path. One is a little bit different, but one is not. They're really the same. So with that, you know, I get communication from the galactic. I get communication from my loved ones who have passed on because I am a medium. I also get communication from other people's loved ones, you know, and I can see the bigger picture. So when I do a galactic healing session, you know, as a medium or a galactic channeler, lots of things come into play, you know. So all of my abilities or things I specialize in, you know, whether it's my being an ordained minister as far as spirituality, see a person's path, or whether it's the teacher in me for energy modality, or whether it's the coach for breathing techniques and stress relieving. It's all galactic. It really is. It's the communication I'm getting that is giving me help, and that's really where the galactic channeling comes into play. And when I talk with somebody, where the information I'm getting from is being channeled to me, and that's where the channeling came about. So, and here they told me you're going to come out of the closet and tell everybody that you're a channeler. And I've been channeling Saint Germain and Kuan Yin, and there's a couple other ones too. A lot of people don't know, but it's time, and it's yeah. So I'm a galactic channeler, and I channel, and I kind of bring messages there.
That's a word that a lot of people are not familiar with. How would you explain galactic?
Okay, so galactic means, all right, above. All right, it's more about our ancestors, where we really came from. So when you talk with Aboriginal people or Indigenous people, you know, they're very strong on spirituality and their ancestors. And what do they mean by their ancestors? Well, they all believe and they know that we came from the stars, that something happened to us. We came from somewhere. Where do we come from? And I always remember finally when I started doing this work is when I was a little girl. I was about 6 years old, and I love to tell the story because kind of it'll help people understand that I knew from a very small child that I came from somewhere, and where was it? So I asked my mother, and I came from 8 children in my family. I was number 6, and I was alone in the car with my mother, and I said to my mommy, I said, Mommy, why are we here? Where did we come from? You know? And I knew as a 6-year-old child that where did we come from? Where did this all start? So lo and behold, you know, what she did, and was really cool, is that she pulled the car over. She turned the car off, and she turned around and she said to me, honey, I don't know. She didn't know, you know? And so it was like, it was inside me, a deep, you know, wondering where I was. So as my spirituality started to develop, I always remember that. And I grew up out in Arizona, and Native is very prevalent out there, you know, Southwest, you know, Indigenous people, Native people that live there. And so when I started on the spiritual class, I started doing shamanic work and connecting, and why I was so close to Mother Gaia. And the Indigenous people and Aboriginal people, they connect with Mother Gaia and also the stars, okay? And the stars mean our ancestors, and our ancestors are in the galactic realm, you know? And we say, what are you talking about? What are we, ETs or whatever? Say, yeah, we are. We're ETs, you know? We came from somewhere. So that's how galactic means our ancestors from before we came to Earth, okay? Who actually made us as humans here on Earth, and where did they come from? All right. So the galactic is our ancestors, where we came from. You know.
So the
and
galaxy.
The galaxy, the universe, the galaxy. Galactic is galaxy, but universe, say universe, because there's many universes. There's many galaxies rather in the universe. Okay. Yes. So so people understand galactic, galaxy, you know, and then they understand universe. Okay, so it kind of goes interchangeably until people kind of really understand the difference between the two. But the galactic is our ancestors that communicate with me.
Oh, good. Thank you. That's good. So you've given us an awful lot of things to talk about and to think about here, which is great. So what would be the steps you can do? You talked about you having a session. You talked about you're a teacher and a wonderful one. So give me an idea. I want to do something next week. So what can I do?
Set up a session. Set up a session. Go on my website. Check out how I can help you. I have different services. I have one-on-one sessions, or I have package deals, which most of the packages are the best. And this way, it's what I'd like to, and I coined it. What I like to say is you need to release things that no longer serve you, so you can heal. And once you heal, then you can evolve and find out what your purpose is. So by doing a session, it kind of opens up the whole shebang, and then we can take it from there. Individual sessions or package deals, and also classes, and then also groups. You know, a lot of people want to just join the Lightworkers group just to find out and be around other people, and then they want to learn more. And so that's how people start. Sessions, packages, find out more about themselves, start doing classes, and then they're on their way. Then they're on their way.
So is there anything else that you'd like to add to what you've said to help us with, we certainly can figure out our purpose eventually, and you've given us some hope, and what about direction now? What would you have to say? Do you have anything else to add on there?
Yes. What I would say is that it takes time. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, it's one day at a time. And sometimes what I say, it's two steps forward, one step back. The thing is that you don't have to do it perfectly. And it's just about starting to do different, take the action, do different. And you can do it very slowly, and it should be done slowly. And a lot of people want it, they want the whole thing. They want it done really quickly. And that's not how it happens. We are evolving, but we need to take small steps and keep it very simple. Start with a session, find out, what's going on with you, find out where you want to go from there, and then take different classes if you want to, take the different levels. Some people already know about energy work, Many of the people that I teach are professionals already, and that's what I really like, is that there's more professionals out there that are realizing that they can add to their professionalism in whatever practice or wherever they specialize in by learning about energy fields, first of all, about themselves. So how they start is have a session, and then look at what will work for them, what are their needs, and take it slow.
Okay, so I'm just going to sum up what we've talked about today as best I can. So
I know it was a lot.
I learned. I think that one of the things to take away for me is integrated energy therapy is dealing with our own issues and dealing with them, the blockages that we've formed. I mean, we've all had that experience of we go to do something and you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach that says, I'm scared. Why am I scared of that? I may never have even experienced it before. So how can I be afraid of that? So I think everyone can relate to the fact that even though it sounds like, oh, there's so much, but we all have those things that we've already experienced. Yeah, I must have some block there, or else I wouldn't feel that thump in the bottom of my stomach. So issues in the tissues is the first thing we have to deal with. And then when you're talking about the unity fields and the multi-level DNA, that's really the spiritual DNA that we're talking about, right? So it's, go ahead.
It's also the physical. When you talk about energy field, you're talking about the physical DNA, physical things that are happening in your life. So that's what happened with me. my own spiritual journey, the physical stuff that was going on, and I actually healed myself from all of it, you know. So it is physical, but it ended up being the spiritual, you know, the physical and spiritual, it all came together.
Well, we're kind of all one big package, aren't we? So we need to deal with that and understanding the fields around us and how much we really affect people. Now that we all wear masks outside, you don't see the smiles as much, but I have still seen the smile in people's eyes. And I try to look when I'm out because I like smiling at people, and the mask kind of makes it interesting. So you have to even be more observant. But so that we know about how we affect others at some point. I think that most people have had that feeling. Oh, I really just got to get away from that person. Or as you said, I like that person. So our fields or our vibrancy, is that the word? Our vibration, that's the word, is similar, so that we feel comfortable with that. And so that those two things, the heart math, I understand now is to do with breathing and having the coherence between your heart and your head. Okay. Sometimes we want to lead just with our head. Our ego is big and we want to just make the decisions. But listening to our heart is also a good idea. So I think for going forward from here, you left people with a really good plan. Your website is on the page there so that they could see and contact you. So thank you so much, Sheila. I really enjoyed having your interview today, and I think this will really help.
Thank you.